Hello, and welcome to the Gaia update for the Leo full moon that's happening on Thursday, January 28th, 2021. I'm Adrienne Elise. So, this full moon is so incredibly potent. I know the story just continues. It's like, and wow, because this full moon happens at 9 degrees, 6 minutes of Leo. So 9 degrees, 9 has an energy of completion. And this is where we've been at for so long. Like, how do we move into the new? Wait, we have to complete the old. How do we complete the old? What's going to catch us when we let go? Where do we even get perspective on the new? And this is exactly what this new moon is saying, except it's saying something really important, that the key to all of it is supernova souls, your expression of who you really are, your abundance, your spiritual gifts coming to the surface, coming to expression, you claiming the light within. And so incredibly empowering time, also a lot of tension, because we have three planets, the Saturn and Jupiter, the greater conjunction planets, and right in between them, the sun for this, and very close to Jupiter. The sun and Jupiter, almost exact conjunction across from this new moon in Leo. So we've got Saturn, the sun, Jupiter in Aquarius. Jupiter wants to expand. Saturn is the laws and rules of our reality. In the Aquarian Age, trying to get this all figured out. The sun right there is saying, okay, what's your role here? What are you doing? What part are you playing in this transition? And so again, we're being asked to come into the abundance of who we are, and maybe pushed and squeezed and forced into the dark corner to come and break through into the light. Because what happens is that the sun and the moon for a full moon are opposite each other, right? So we've got the sun there in Aquarius with the greater conjunction, the moon in Leo across the way, and then an exact T-square, so a fixed T-square. We've got Uranus, Mars, and Black Moon Lilith. Mars is at 10 degrees Taurus, Uranus 6 degrees for this full moon, and Black Moon Lilith 11 degrees. So powerful. So that Uranus, Mars, Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus are in square to Saturn, the Sun, and Jupiter. And also, so it's a T-square in square to the moon in Leo. So it's taking this to a new level of pressure and also showing us the solution to the pressure. That breaking free and being who you really are, standing up in your righteous truth, and take no prisoners. So it's powerful astrology. And so this full moon in square to Uranus, Mars, Black Moon Lilith. And Black Moon Lilith is the deepest, darkest secrets. The deepest, darkest, sludgiest, gross shame, programming, low self-worth, the hidden parts of our psyche. And indeed, this astrology is shining the light on that, because Jupiter and the sun together for this full moon. In this T-square, Black Moon Lilith and Mars and Uranus not too far. It's shining the light on all of what has remained hidden to this point, deep into the depths, the darkest corners of our world, the darkest corners of our psyche. And that's why for the supernova soul, the Leo energy, it's like, this is your redemption. It's like you have the abundance of spiritual light. That's been your whole problem. That's been everything that's wrong with you. That's been why you've been so programmed with shame. And step out of that old suit. It doesn't fit you anymore. And at the same time, the deal is that this light coming on the planet right now, this flood of Christ consciousness that they're doing everything to keep us distracted from, if you think about Yeshua, Jesus, the teacher, the way he operated, like what would happen, it wasn't really even what he did, although there was all these beautiful expressions of the light that he held in his body. But the God source light of his living, breathing example of what we can do and more. But what the effect of his presence was like, it had a way of just releasing and revealing all the ego distortions and lies and corruption and deceit. He didn't even have to do anything. He just had to show up. And that was revealed. And that's what's happening right now. That's what this astrology is, except for the Christ consciousness. The second coming is through you as a holder of this light, as with the codes and with all the spiritual work you've done over many lifetimes and evolutions. And haven't you had this happen recently, probably throughout your life and lifetimes, but where you aren't even saying or doing anything, but your presence seems to make those uncomfortable. It's like revealing the darkness that's hidden, the compensations. And then they lash out and blame you, which is often the team scapegoat, is often how the supernova soul feels. And what did you do? You just showed up in your light, And so what did we do as light workers? We said, we got to survive. We got to figure out how to make it through this. We got to compensate. We got to do this. We got to shut it down. And now it's this, no apologies. Here we are. And that insidious dark goo cannot remain in the brightness of this light. It cannot. Our world's got to get cleaned up. And we're at that breaking point of the light shining through the clouds. This is the deal, right? It's like, so we've been in a Kali Yuga time. We've been in a bloom of the Kali Yuga, the Piscean Age, and we've been in a bloom of the Piscean Age energy of this dark, dark, oppressive, holding humanity down. Very, very blatant control, right? In our world right now, not about a virus. And this blatant control to hold down our spiritual awakening is an old story, a bloom of this. But you know what? The light that came in the Piscean Age, in the beginning of the Piscean Age, the Christ consciousness revealed as the truth of where we're all going, where we all came from. And that light, that incredible light that was then attacked and beaten down, and covered up, right? With all the trauma and the drama and the programming and the story and the matrix and the movie. But the sun never went anywhere. It's still there. It's still there. The spiritual light is still there and even stronger, and it's only going to get more strong. And that's also where you come in. It's a very crucial time for the supernova soul right now, where you're landing home, getting your marching orders, coming into your massive wealth. You just got your spiritual inheritance, realizing that everything you went through, that you almost didn't make it again and again, and then you came back to do it again. That has built this incredible spiritual wealth and resistance and resilience inside of you. And it's time to cash in. This is it. This Uranus in Taurus and Mars going over that black moon Lilith, this activation and square to the Aquarian Age planets, to the new era, it's saying, clean it up. And how do we clean up our world? Is you cashing in on your spiritual abundance and living and breathing and owning it and standing up in the righteous truth and stop waiting. I guess there's this message to stop waiting for that outside God energy to come save us. It's like we are in charge here. There is no, and it's interesting because the juxtaposition, but very similar energies of the new moon in Capricorn, which was about breaking free from authority contracts and taking back our power. And this is the fallout of it, because the full moon is the culmination energy. And it's saying, hey, you know how you do this? You recognize that there's nothing more powerful than you outside of you. And so what are we waiting for? And why are we staying in our homes? And why are we buying into the lies? Why aren't we out celebrating? Why aren't we out proclaiming the truth of who we are? And for supernova soul, that starts just right here within you. And it's just your escape from the lower matrix and feeling better and giving yourself permission. You know, a big part of the pain in the life of the supernova soul is the turning down of your light, the disconnecting, the denying, the suppressing. This is where all of your pain comes from. And that game's over now. So really interesting times, incredibly powerful astrology, lots of tension, lots of opportunities. Jupiter brings light, expansion, hope, truth, opportunity. The energy of opportunity that's really about is that abundance, that cashing in. And that's how we get to the Aquarian age. That's how we clean up the mess. That's how we get on with this evolution, because these squares, tension leading up to this full moon is like, okay, yeah, there's an awakening happening and then nothing's happening. And there's so much spiritual energy happening and yet nothing's happening. And it's like, are we just being shown? We have to be just so blatantly shown what pawns we've been in this evil game. How we've just bought into it and played along in this horrible scheme to enslave humanity, and we agreed to this. And it's right in our face right now. You cannot be awake and aware and not have the ridiculousness of this earth prison satanic cult running our world. You can't, it's just right in your face. And this is an interesting thing because it's bringing up, you know, so we have this fixed T-square with the sun and the moon, Leo, Aquarius, and in square to the Taurus planets. Then we've got a mutable T-square with the nodes of the moon, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Neptune in Pisces in square, exact square for this full moon. Right before the 23rd to the 27th is the exact square of Neptune square the nodes. Now mutable signs, fixed signs are about finding stability and trying to get a handle on things. Oh, good luck, right? And then mutable signs are about adjusting, right? And we need to adjust our vision. We need to adjust the dream. We need to adjust what's possible. We need to adjust the ceiling, right? So the Mars, Uranus square, Jupiter, Saturn, Sun is like below the lid off of it, right? And so maybe that's this adjustment in our reality is to blow the possibilities, you know, to expand. Our job right now is to expand out of what we're being shown and live and breathe in the possibilities of something greater and better. And, you know, it's so much more real and true. And it's getting more and more real and true compared to the garbage movie every day. And so that's our ticket out, is to live, breathe, awaken to a new dream, a new possibility. And we have that within us. We carry the codes. And so that's another energy of this abundance that's coming home. It's like, oh, not only are you this autonomous spiritual being who's had all this experience and you're ready to cash in on your spiritual wealth, you know, you've got this, you've got a plan, you're a big part of the plan. You got a big role to play. You got marching orders. It's like, it's time to get to work on the next chapter, right? So it's powerful and traumatic, but also freeing and releasing. It's like so intense. And so just keep that in mind with this mutable T-square, fixed T-square. We're basically trying to adjust to a completely different reality. You know, and the frustration for the supernova soul is like, okay, I feel it. Something heavy is happening. I feel it. I need to kick into gear, but I can't see anything ahead of me. I can't see anything around me. I'm just getting more and more closed into this dark, empty room. And so maybe what's keeping us there is our inability to trust. You know, it's really a time of faith, our inability to trust that there is something different. You know, but it's like, if you are who you are, you really know, and you have this, we've been working here on this, right? And if you know there's so much more than what this is, then there's so much more than what this is. And it's time for us to have that spiritual faith in who we are. And that's maybe what gets us to be able to to get out of the psychological mind control trap and put our attention on that something greater, something more beautiful that we know is happening. And it's just getting more and more weird. We're not going back to normal. Something's got to give. And this astrology is like boiling point. So it's your time. And with this, it's your time to shine. With this Leo energy, it's saying this is the key. This is how you get out. 2 T-squares right on top of each other. It's like a key. And so it has to do with coming into our wealth and our abundance, dreaming a new dream, letting it be possible, giving our energy to our attention only to what's pure and white, right and good and true, shining our light, and get this show on the road, right? So that's the energy of this astrology, of this full moon, and it's happening on Thursday the 28th, like I said, and the live activation is going to be just before that, just leading up to the exact time. So it's going to be at 11 a.m. on Thursday the 28th in Mountain Time, and it's $10. I hope you'll consider joining this live activation. What we do is we talk through the current energies, create a sacred space, and then a guided meditation to get guidance, to sink in, to be present with what's happening right now and make the most of this time, get the messages and the clarity about what's happening. So I hope you'll consider joining the activation, and I'll see you on the next update. Hang in there. So much is happening. It can feel overwhelming, but it's actually everything is working perfectly for you in your life to be able to break through right now. It's what you came for. It's who you are. It's your glory. It's your abundance. It's darkest right before the dawn. And that skin that you're about to shed is getting incredibly uncomfortable. But here we are, and we're here together. And we're not getting through this without a celebration and a redemption and the cashing in on that spiritual abundance and celebrating that with each other. That's more real than anything we've been shown here in this whole reality. And let's be there. Let's be in that glorious energy together as we tip the scales into this new reality. And thank you so much for being here, being a supernova soul, making it through all you've made it through, showing up on the earth again and again, living, breathing, and being present for this epic moment. And here we are together. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Next update, and hopefully at that new moon full moon activation. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.